The job of being a composer for a TV show is interesting because what you're trying to do is you kind of have to be a translator. You have to listen to the things people say they need and people what they say they want, and then look at the material, and you've got to try to find what they really need. Sometimes you get things like, well, I want it to have a cloud on a blue sky with one dove, no two doves, and and you try to, well, what does that mean in terms of music?
I often say Snuffy has the hardest job in television because he must be creative on demand. Okay, go create. Right now, you have 2 days. Go create music. I don't know how that happens.
Well, Aaron and Tommy and I were working on Sports Night at the time, and I knew that he had a script that he was putting out for a pilot, and I talked Aaron into letting me see it, and I read it, and it was wonderful. And I went to Tommy, I said, love to do the music for this. And Tommy and Aaron said, sure, great. And at that time, we weren't sure if we were going to, what kind of music we were talking about. We didn't know if we were going to be piano-based, and we didn't know if we were going to be guitar-based. There were a lot of different ideas out on the table. Aaron and I talked about specifically a kind of a Phil Collins kind of anthem, with a rock, more of a rock feel.
Tommy and Aaron were so totally open to everything. Music was kind of an interesting thing because they both came in with this very strong feeling that they wanted to break the mold of music typically being heard in a show about the president and government, Washington, D.C.
So once they shot the film, Tommy called me up and said, well, we've been putting orchestral music against it, and it's really great. So I think we kind of want to go that way.
They realized that you had to support the office, that the office of the presidency, in film is this kind of magical thing, and when it will tolerate really, grand music.
And he kind of looked at me, do you do that? And you got to make, the musician answer is yes, and you just deal with it later. That wasn't really my forte at the time. But the project was so fascinating and the script was so wonderful that I just kind of said sure and dove in.
Let's get in the game.
I think the biggest challenge is, not to write the wrong music. We were dealing with the presidency and we were dealing with the White House, but that it was really about the people. So it had to have a certain large landscape, and yet it had to remain personal. So from that approach, the main title came, and it's actually very simple. It's much more of a gospel feel than anything. It's melodically, it's. I was working on the score for the first 3 episodes, so I kind of fooled around with this little theme and plugged it in, and I was showing Tommy some other cues, and I came across that one, and he got to the end of it and he said, that's our theme. So this one actually came from the fabric of the show.
A short while ago, I ordered our armed forces to attack and destroy 4 military targets in northern Syria. This in response to the unwarranted, unprovoked, and cold-blooded downing 3 days ago.
I always say, for me as an editor, the best and the worst days of the process are scoring days, because they either realize your hopes and dreams and take what you've done and really elevate it to something else, or they don't.
And Aaron and Tommy are not anybody to say, oh yeah, that kind of gets it. I mean, it's right to the last minute. That music is scrutinized. Can we tweak this? Can you lower that percussion? Can you support those strings more? Masterful, what he accomplishes.
The way I write, I'm actually performing. And I'm just playing to film, really. I'm just playing and trying to create the motion that I'm feeling musically from the film. And then you've got to stop, at least in my process, I have to stop and look, watch the scene with the music. And if it doesn't move me, I have to throw it out and start again.
Something I can help you with, Mr. McGarry?
Yeah, I'm here for the card game.
And I think because maybe I don't come from the orchestral training realm, I feel like I have to dig a little deeper until something really moves me, and that's what I found that does make this show easy, is you can make a very personal statement with these characters, and you can delve into your past, and you know, like I said, with a very simple melody, you can speak to the heart, and that's what these characters do so well. I mean, Aaron just really created some wonderful, real people, and the music's been, the music job's been relatively easy because they are so complete in the story they're telling. It's never perfect. It's never right. I write music all day long, and I can work on a piece for a day or for 2 weeks, and it's never going to be perfect. I have to kind of stop and when I run out of time, really. But it's absolutely been a thrill working on this show. A special time in my career.